Friends, what would happen if Russia suddenly decided to use its full military power to attack America and capture the entire country? But Russia would face one huge problem. If it launched a full-scale attack on America through Alaska, it would leave its other side badly exposed. European forces could unite and attack Russia from behind. And when the Russian forces turned back to defend their homeland, America would strike from behind as well, leaving Russia trapped in a deadly two-front war. That's why Russia comes up with a dangerous plan. It sends a message to Iran asking it to join the war against America. But Iran cannot launch a direct attack on America from such a great distance because its warships are far too weak. They would never be able to compete against America's powerful and advanced naval fleet or even reach mainland America. So Iran comes up with a deadly strategy and sends a message back to Russia. It tells Russia to use its full military strength to attack and capture Alaska first. Once Alaska is under Russian control, its forces can easily move through Canada and reach mainland America. Meanwhile, Iran will gather all of its proxies across the Middle East and Africa and deploy all of its forces along Russia's European border. Using its advanced drones and missiles, Iran will keep the European armies tied down, and the moment Russia captures all of America, Iran's forces and Russian tanks will launch a massive attack on Europe and try to capture the entire continent. But there is one major problem with this plan. While Iran's strongest forces are inside Russia fighting against the European armies, American forces stationed across the Middle East would launch an attack on Iran from behind. This would force Iran to pull all of its forces out of Russia and send them back to defend its own country. At that exact moment, the European forces would push deep into Russia and launch a full-scale attack from behind. That's why Russia and Iran realize they need more allies to support them in this war. So they first send a message to North Korea, asking it to join them and launch a full-scale attack on America together. American forces and their advanced weapons have prevented North Korea from attacking South Korea for many years. And because of that, North Korea has become extremely angry. So North Korea sends a message to Russia and agrees to launch a full-scale attack on America. But North Korea faces one major problem. It must gather a massive army that is large enough to send forces to Russia to help attack Alaska, while at the same time keeping South Korea's advanced military under control. North Korea sets up a massive camp and sends a message across the entire country, ordering all of its soldiers to advance toward it. Soon, troops from every corner of the country begin moving toward the camp, and within a short time, North Korea gathers a huge force of 900,000 soldiers. This is one of the largest military forces in the world, but North Korea doesn't stop there. It now sends a message to its most elite special forces, ordering them to advance toward the camp as well. These are considered North Korea's deadliest units. They have spent years training to infiltrate other countries and fight against their elite special forces, making them capable of defeating the special units of almost any nation in the world. Soon, all of these special forces arrive at the camp, and before long, North Korea has assembled a powerful force of 1.3 million soldiers. If the North Korean forces manage to capture America alongside Russia and Iran, then Russia will send its advanced weapons to North Korea. Using these advanced Russian weapons, North Korea will launch an attack on South Korea. And since the American forces will no longer be there to defend it, North Korea will be able to capture all of South Korea with ease. After that, North Korea prepares its deadliest force of 800,000 soldiers and equips them with its most powerful weapons. It then orders them to advance toward Russia. From there, they will join the Russian forces and launch a full-scale attack on America. Soon, all of the North Korean forces begin moving rapidly toward Russia. Meanwhile, Russia sends a message to Iran, ordering it to gather all of its forces as quickly as possible. Iran now has two major missions. On one side, it must stop the European forces from pushing into Russia. On the other, it must defeat the American forces stationed across the Middle East so they cannot launch an attack on Iran from behind. To do this, Iran needs a massive and extremely powerful army. Iran sets up a huge camp and sends a message across the entire country, ordering all of its border forces to advance toward it. Soon, troops from every border begin moving toward the camp, and within a short time, Iran gathers a regular force of 400,000 soldiers. But this force alone will not be enough to stop Europe's massive elite army or defend against attacks launched from American bases. However, these are only Iran's regular forces. Iran also has several other military branches that are highly trained, so it decides to deploy its more powerful force, the IRGC. Iran sends a message across the country, ordering all IRGC soldiers to advance toward the camp. Soon, all of the IRGC troops begin arriving, and before long, Iran has gathered nearly 600,000 soldiers. Iran has now assembled both of its deadliest military forces to take on the European armies. Next, Iran makes its most dangerous move yet. It sends a message to its secret agents stationed across Europe and other countries, ordering them to return to Iran. These are Iran's most elite agents, who know the weaknesses of all of these nations. Using this intelligence, Iran believes it can defeat the entire NATO alliance. To prepare for this, Iran sets up a special camp. Soon, all of its secret agents begin arriving there, and before long, nearly 15,000 top spies and agents are gathered in the camp. These elite agents come up with a dangerous plan. They decide to divide the Iranian forces into 4 groups. The first group will remain along the European border to stop the European armies from advancing. The second group will join the Belarusian forces and launch an attack on the Baltic states, trying to capture all of them at the same time. The third group will help Russia and North Korea during the attack on Alaska. And the fourth group will remain inside Iran to stop any attacks launched from American bases. But there is one major problem. Iran does not need just a few 100,000 soldiers. It needs several million troops if it wants to defeat the world's most powerful nations. So, Iran makes another dangerous move. It sends a message to all of the civilians who have received military training for every type of warfare, ordering these volunteers to advance toward a new camp. Soon, volunteers from across the country begin arriving there, and within a short time, nearly 100,000 volunteers gather at the camp. But Iran's elite agents still don't stop there. They make another dangerous move by sending a message to the Ansar military group in Yemen, Iran's largest proxy force, ordering them to advance toward Iran. This group is considered the world's best at guerrilla warfare. Using these fighters, Iran plans to launch devastating guerrilla attacks that could severely weaken the massive European armies. Soon, the Ansar fighters prepare their warships, then all the troops board on these ships and begin sailing toward Iran at full speed. However, NATO have the world's most powerful countries, which have the most advanced weapons in the world. Because of this, Iran also needs highly experienced soldiers who can match the elite forces of the Baltic states, capture those countries quickly, and then launch a surprise attack on the European armies from behind. For this, Iran sends a message to its deadliest proxy groups in Iraq: Hezbollah, Asaib, and Harakat. These groups are made up of some of the world's most experienced soldiers who have spent years undergoing intense military training. Soon, all of these fighters begin advancing toward the Iranian camp. Meanwhile, all of the Ansar group's warships arrive in Iran and quickly move toward the second camp. As a result, nearly 300,000 soldiers are now gathered in the second camp. At the same time, the Iraqi proxy fighters reach the first camp, increasing its strength to nearly 700,000 soldiers. Iran has now assembled almost 1 million troops, but these are no ordinary soldiers. They include some of the most experienced and deadliest fighters in the world, capable of taking on forces many times larger than their own. Iran now prepares a force of 500,000 elite soldiers, made up of the best fighters from its deadliest military groups. It then orders them to advance toward Russia. Soon, all of these forces begin moving rapidly toward Russia. Meanwhile, Russia is fully confident that it will soon capture both America and Europe at the same time. After that, it will become far more powerful, and no nation will be able to stop it. This would put every other country in the world at risk. Now, America must act quickly. Russia is convinced that if this dangerous surprise attack succeeds, it will easily defeat both America and NATO at the same time. After that, Russia sets up a massive camp and orders all of its soldiers to advance toward it. Soon, Russian soldiers begin moving toward the camp, and within a short time, Russia gathers a powerful force of 1.2 million soldiers. But Russia doesn't stop there. It also sends a message to all of its reserve soldiers. Soon, Russia's reserve forces begin advancing toward the camp, and before long, another 2 million reserve soldiers arrive there. Russia has now assembled a massive force of 3.2 million soldiers because its goal is to capture the world's most powerful country, America. Meanwhile, the Iranian forces also arrive in Russia and set up 2 large camps along Russia's European border. One group will defend Russia against any European attack, while the second group will move around from the north and attack the Baltic states. However, Russia is not fully confident that the Iranian forces alone can hold back NATO's massive army for long. So, Russia takes another major step. It sets up another camp along its European border and sends a message to all of its border troops, ordering them to advance toward the camp. Soon, all of the border troops begin moving toward it, and within a short time, nearly 170,000 border troops gather there. But Russia still doesn't stop. It also sends a message to all of its Gvardia National Guard units, ordering them to advance toward the camp. Soon, National Guard units from across the country begin arriving, and before long, the camp grows to nearly 520,000 total troops. If the European forces ever manage to break through Iran's strong defensive lines, these Russian forces will confront them and push them back. Now, all of Russia's preparations are complete. Russia forms a powerful unit of 800,000 soldiers, including Spetsnaz brigades, rocket forces, infantry brigades, and several other elite military units. It then orders all of these forces to advance toward the North Korean camp. Soon, they rapidly move forward and reach the camp. Russia now has nearly 1.6 million soldiers gathered there, and with this force, it is ready to launch a full-scale attack on Alaska. This will be a massive surprise attack. Once Russia captures all of Alaska, it will push through Canada and launch the most powerful attack on mainland America the world has ever seen. After that, Russia orders all of these soldiers to advance toward Alaska, and the entire force begins moving at full speed. When American satellites detect this enormous army approaching the border, they immediately send an alert to America. In response, America quickly orders all of its forces stationed in Alaska to gather at the border and prepare to face the advancing Russian army. However, the American forces stationed in Alaska are far too few. The combined Russian and North Korean forces outnumber them by several times. Now, both armies stand face to face, ready for battle. Friends, subscribe now so you don't miss the next episode.